Noteworthy startups. 12 venture capitalists provide options for the next batch of Pacific Northwest unicorns. CEOs of Pacific Northwest startups, clockwise from top left: Flexe CEO Karl Siebrecht, Syndio CEO Maria Colacercio, Flyhome CEO Tushar Garg, OctoML CEO Louise Ceze, Dooley CEO Chris Hartvigsen, Fabric CEO Faisal Masood, Glowforge CEO Dan Shapiro, Logixboard CEO Julian Alvarez, DexCare CEO Streat, Wyze CEO Zhang, Textio CEO Kieran Snyder. Unicorn startups are everywhere these days. CB Insights Unicorn Tracker, keeping tabs on privately held companies valued at $1 billion or more, is quickly approaching 1,000 companies. And earlier this month, GeekWire identified 16 startups in the Seattle region that have already reached this status. As we kick off the new year, startup valuations continue on the upward trajectory. In fact, the average pre-money valuation for later-stage venture-backed companies hit $750 million last year, up from $431 million in 2020, according to the Venture Monitor report. Since we've already identified the Seattle area startups that have achieved unicorn status, we thought it would be fun to think about which Pacific Northwest companies might be donning a horn this year. This is more of a speculative exercise, so to help us pick the up-and-comers, we surveyed a dozen venture capitalists from the Seattle area to get their pick. One important caveat: in order to eliminate the biases of the VCs, who not surprisingly often shamelessly tout their own startups, we requested that each deal maker choose a company that's outside of their individual portfolio. Amazingly, and speaking to the vibrancy of the Pacific Northwest startup scene, only 2 venture capitalists picked the same company. Hey, race who the venture capitalists chose, with quotes on why they think each company is destined for big things. Pay attention to this group of startup. The Flex team, pre-pandemic future unicorn. Flex prediction made by Anthony Bontrager, managing director at West River Group. Quote, "As I noted in my predictions blog post for 2022, the pandemic shined a very bright light on the fragility of global supply chain and logistics and its underlying technological infrastructure. Creating more resiliency and intelligence in this area has never been more important, and companies such as Flex are solving the need for both predictability and flexibility." Co-founder and CEO, Karl Siebrecht, former president of Aquantive's Atlas unit and ex-CEO of AdReady. Founded 2013. Headquarters, Seattle. GeekWire coverage. Seattle startup Flex raises $70 million as e-commerce rise fuels demand for flexible warehousing platform. Logixboard co-founder Julian and Juan Alvarez. Future unicorn. Logixboard prediction made by Kellen Carter, founding partner at Fuse Venture Partner. Quote, "Logixboard is quickly transforming the massive freight forwarding industry by bringing real-time transparency and visibility to a market that has historically made money through opaqueness. Julian is a relentless founder that always exceeds an already high bar." Co-founder and CEO, Julian Alvarez, former partner at AIOF. Founded 2017. Headquarters, Seattle. GeekWire coverage. Freight forwarding software startup Logixboard lands $13 million. Future unicorn. OctoML prediction made by Aviel Ginsberg, general partner at Founders Co-op. OctoML's Louise Ceze. Quote, "It is an extremely strong team in an emerging and extremely important category. They have a very unique set of technology. There is really just no solid competition, especially as supply chain speeds up post-pandemic. The more need for ML on edge and things like that, they are just in an extremely enviable position." Co-founder and CEO, Louise Ceze, a University of Washington computer science professor. Founded 2019. Headquarters, Seattle. GeekWire coverage. University of Washington machine learning spinout OctoML raises $85 million to expand its partnership. The Wyze Cam and Wyze Lamp Socket. Future unicorn. Wyze prediction made by Andy Liu, partner at Unlock Venture Partner. Quote, "They've executed really well on building low-cost consumer hardware devices with a strong on-ramp to consumer adoption of computer vision and subscription services." Co-founder and CEO, Zhang, former in-stock manager at Amazon. Founded 2017. Headquarters, Kirkland, Washington. GeekWire coverage. Smart home device maker Wyze raises $110 million as it plans to inject AI heavily into camera products. Future unicorn. DexCare prediction made by Yuval Neiman, managing director of Trilogy Equity Partners. DexCare's Streat. Quote, "A company we really like is DexCare, marrying modern digital technology with the arcane EMR systems to orchestrate demand and capacity within existing large healthcare providers. We have tremendous respect for its CEO Streat, a 6X local entrepreneur." CEO, Streat, former CEO of Ceze, founded, 2020, headquarters, Seattle. GeekWire coverage. Providence health tech spinout DexCare raises $50 million. Future unicorn. Glowforge prediction made by Etienne No, managing director at the Alliance of Angel. Quote, "My pick is Glowforge because of their successful partnership with Michaels and foray into NFT." Co-founder and CEO, Dan Shapiro, former CEO at Ontala and SparkBuy and ex-program manager at Microsoft, founded, 2014, headquarters, Seattle. GeekWire coverage. Glowforge cuts deal with Michaels to expand retail reach of its 3D laser printer. Maria Colicurcio of Syndio at the 2019 GeekWire Summit. Future unicorn. Syndio prediction made by Heather Redman, managing partner at Flying Fish Partner. Quote, "It is early days for them still, but the big vision of using data to unleash the true potential of all workers and their families is powerful, especially in a world where talent is scarce and increasing inclusion is low-hanging fruit for employers." Co-founder and CEO, Maria Colicurcio, former vice president of marketing at Smartsheet, founded, 2017, headquarters, Seattle. GeekWire coverage. Pay equity startup Syndio raises $50 million as more companies broaden analysis of workplace fairness. Future unicorn. Fabric prediction made by Austin Guyette, partner at Voyager Capital, and Julie Sandler, managing director at PSL. Fabric CEO, Faisal Masood. Quote from Guyette, "Fabric is a key component of the modern commerce stack. By democratizing access to best-in-class digital commerce tooling, Fabric allows merchants who aren't served well by Shopify, Oracle, or Salesforce to thrive in an e-commerce world." Why does this matter? For all Shopify's success, and they've been really successful, the reality is that commerce is incredibly large and complex. If you're an omni-channel retailer, if you deal with B2B payments, or even if you simply grow large enough, Shopify might not work well for your business, and the alternatives aren't much better. Fabric gives scaling merchants additional speed, customization, and portability in their quest to deliver the best customer experience possible. Commerce is gigantic, continues to move online, and this world is rebelling against Amazon to stay relevant. Both Shopify and Fabric are arming the rebels. As it turns out, there are many different types of rebels that need help. Quote from Sandler, "Great team, timely value proposition for online brands and retailers." E-commerce has been redefined as much as it has been supercharged by the pandemic. Brands and online retail companies need to compete not only on price and selection, but more than ever on end-to-end experience. All that requires a robust tech stack, which too many online brand/retail tech teams are ill-equipped to build from scratch, especially as they outgrow Shopify. We're quite bullish on several companies in the region addressing this theme, and Fabric's true headless commerce offering speaks to it beautifully. CEO, Faisal Masood, former chief technology officer at Staples and former manager at Amazon, founded, 2017, headquarters, Seattle. GeekWire coverage. E-commerce startup Fabric raises $100 million in latest giant funding round for a Seattle startup. Flyhomes CEO, Tushar Garg. Future unicorn. Flyhomes prediction made by Somasegar, managing director at Madrona Venture Group. Quote, "Real estate is consistently an important part of the economic landscape. It is very unique in that it blends emotion and investment in a very lasting way for many people, and reaches a diverse audience. And despite news around how renting makes more sense, in many cases, people have a desire to own a home and go to great lengths to do that." Flyhomes addresses this desire directly and speaks to the new home buyer. They recently hired a CRO showing a real focus on growing their audience. We have also seen many startups in the real estate tech arena indicating a big opportunity for both market and technological growth. CEO, Tushar Garg, former program manager at Microsoft, founded, 2015, headquarters, Seattle. GeekWire coverage. Flyhomes raises $150 million as it expands across U.S. and aims to change the way people buy homes. CEO Kieran Snyder and members of the Textio team accept the Innovation of the Year award at the 2019 GeekWire Awards in Seattle. Future unicorn. Textio prediction made by Martina Welkoff, founding partner at WXR Fund. Quote, "I've been really impressed with how Textio has expanded their product offering and adjusted their positioning to respond to the increased emphasis on DEI in the last few years. Under Kieran Snyder's fantastic leadership, I'm confident they'll be joining the unicorn ranks soon." Co-founder and CEO, Kieran Snyder, former group program manager at Microsoft, founded, 2014, headquarters, Seattle. GeekWire coverage. Textio brings inclusive writing guidance to LinkedIn, and Seattle startup bounces back after pandemic. Future unicorn. Dooley prediction made by Kirby Winfield, founding general partner of Ascend.vc. Quote, Dooley's position at intersection of applied AI and sales enablement couldn't be more timely. Modern workers are overwhelmed with SaaS apps and need help making multi-app workflows more efficient, nowhere more so than in sales and revenue ops. Co-founder and CEO, Chris Hartvigsen, former EVP of Strategic Alliances at Vision Critical. Founded, 2016. Headquarters, Vancouver, BC. Recent coverage. Dooley raises $80 million more for its AI tools to help salespeople manage their busy work.